Greetings guys, this is Bants back again with another video. I hope you guys are all doing well. Most of this video is basically just going to be Destroyer 1v1s. I've been really keen for flying Destroyers recently. Thrashers. The reason I enjoy flying Thrashers every now and then is they're incredibly engageable, especially the autocannon one. There's a lot of ways to outplay it, so people tend to like to fight them. And I get a real good fight against this Coercer. I have faction ammo loaded. Hail might be the right way to go, as you'll see. I'm always worried I wouldn't be able to get into hail range and we lose that one, but it's down to the wire. So very much a GF to that Coercer pilot. That's a really nice little fight there. Next we have a Dragoon. The problem with this Thrasher is if this Dragoon has a scram and an AB and is able to pull range from me, it's really bad for me. You see the long point, that's great for me. He does actually have a scram, but it takes too long to put that on me. In which case I'm able to get close, get my DPS on him. He doesn't. You do notice that I believe he starts to try and pull range. It might not, but yeah, it's really easy to pull range from an autocannon Thrasher. And as you can see, oh, I have Barrage preloaded in this one. That was me expecting him to maybe pull range there. Usually with like fusion or faction ammos, I think you're really reaching out to like 7.5k to 8k. With you see there with Barrage, you're hitting out to 12k, which is real nice. So I was expecting this Dragoon to potentially try and get my faction ammo range. So that's why I had Barrage loaded from the get-go. That is very much a gamble, but we do win. So GF to that gentleman. Okay, I get a lot of fights against CD Loon here, and he's given really good fights here. This is a Coercer. This time I went in with Hail loaded this time. I'm always really worried to load Hail because his range is really short and it's incredibly easy to pull range and get into the far fall off or completely out of range of Hail. But in some instances where you know you can get on top of someone and load Hail, there's not many instances. I guess maybe against Coercers, which aren't really known for having a scram, right? Most Coercers will have like an AB web. Even with the AB scram is very not common. Could have like MWD scram, in which case you still be faster. So yeah, maybe Hail was the right choice for that first Coercer. This is against Corman. Ram it. Get my, I believe I have Phased Plasma loaded, expecting some form of shield tank. Maybe it's armor, so that's why I went with Phased. Pretty close, but we do end up taking it. Okay, here we have a 1v1 against Comet. And I was curious to see, Comets can really outplay an autocannon Thrasher, especially if they're rails. If they're rails, like I'm checking this guy's guns before I engage here. I'm just going to ram him with fusion loaded, get a newt on him. I see his blasters. I'm expecting him to get into range. So he can't really use null and get over autocannon ranges. He can't really make that play. So what he should really be doing is orbiting close with his blasters, potentially trying to get under my gun somewhat. Since we don't have like web, it might be a bit easier. He has better tracking. I have a huge sig. But I'm able to track easily. The newt's doing work here. I don't pay attention to D-scan. This is a bad thing on my part. Had I noticed that Thrasher just like rammed them, or aligned out and warped, either of those two situations would have been better for me, but this ends up being an RD Thrasher. He catches me, scram web. It's not looking good for me. I get a couple of shots on him, but he's probably most likely going to be mostly hull tanked, so I don't think there'd be any form of way of me basically killing that Thrasher. So that was bad on my part, not very good, like, being not very perceptive of my part. So this is a next fight against an Algos. I warp this Plex, he's at range, ram up! Basically try and get as close as possible to him, expecting some form of scram. He might be like one of those long point tenement Algoses, which would be very interesting to fight. He takes a while to get his scram on me, and this is to his detriment. He's actually AB web scram. You'll see now that I believe this Algos does very well and actually starts to pull range, which he should do. That's perfect. He's starting to get my faction ammo range. I believe I have faction ammo loaded here. I do have fusion. He's pulling range, which is very bad for me. Once he gets out to like that 8k mark, I'm going to... Oh no! Oh, I forgot! I've got a 3% hardwire and I'm using, I believe it's Soothsayer booster, which is also giving me more fall off range, so I have a bit more fall off than normal. Okay, here I have a really nice fight against CD again, and a Thrasher. This is a complete mirror match. Just a thing to note, ammo choices in this Thrasher in particular will lose you fights. You can't go on a 10-second reload in a Destroyer 1v1, and even like against frigates. So you need to load the ammo that you think that you're going to need throughout the whole fight, right? If you were forced to switch ammo, you're in a very bad spot. So I noticed he was getting bigger hits than me at the same time. I've got phase loaded. That's like, God damn it, he has EM loaded. So that's what makes this fight make us lose basically our ammo choice here. Still a very close and very fun fight, but just try and figure out like what ammos are best in what situation. That's basically how you get better with a Thrasher. Okay, here we have a fight against two different Dragoons here. This is the Algos fit that was recommended me to Lieutenant Lunar Laser. Really good dude to use to be in my streams occasionally. Really nice guy, man. Good solo PvPer. So the fight against Dragoon's quite interesting. Basically, I just wanted Ram. It can scram count you because you have MWD scram, right? If it's AB scram, or potentially MWD web scram, it should be able to pull range from you and get your autocannon range, which is bad for you because a lot of your DPS is actually held up in your autocannons. I think about you get like 180 DPS in your autocannons, about 217 in your drones if you're using the two hammerheads, right? That's the thing with the Algos that the Dragoon doesn't have. You're able to use two medium drones. So you have a 35 megabit bandwidth as opposed to the Dragon's 25, which means you can only use 5 lights. There is pros and cons to using those two medium drones on the Algos. It means that like you have one full set of lights and you have 3 spares, which is kind of annoying. So you might not even want to use the medium drones to just put more lights in there so you have more variety. But the medium drones do help, especially against like destroyers and stuff. This is a really, really close fight, by the way. But yeah, don't use the medium drones against frigates. Just use them against destroyers. You won't track the frigates very well with the medium drones. Just keep that in mind if you end up using the mediums. So I'm ramming this dude. I noticed his 2 other mates were inside, so I was waiting on the outside to potentially catch one of these guys. And this is just what happens. I don't notice that he's pulling range at this point. This is so weird. I think he was like, it was either Tenement or just an AB web, and he was able to pull range from me here. But since he does have a scram, he's long point web. We're still able to MWD towards him. I'm just trying to conserve my cap here to run my rep as well as like sort of MWD towards him. He's almost getting out of fall off range, so we need MWD back just to get in there. Okay, this was very convenient for me. I warped this small and see that the point is really close. I'm like, oh god! Now see CD Loon here. Now I'm really hoping that he primaries the Ponty with me and doesn't shoot me. This is exactly what he does. This is excellent. This Pontifex isn't something I could ever kill solo in an Algos unless it's maybe like a weird like Newt fit Algos or something. This is a heavily active Ponty. I've got Phase Plasma or Thermal ammo loaded here. I've got the Hobgoblins, the Hammerheads, and Phase loaded in guns. Reason being is most MRT2 profiles are very low in thermal resistances. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to be using like, you know, like Fusion or something against a MRT2 boat. So I'm starting to struggle here tank-wise. I'm like, oh god, he's tanking very well here. I do notice we're starting to break him a little bit. I'm starting to get a bit hopeful. This is I checked his fit afterwards. It's like Tenement, Captain Injected Scram, dual rep. So it's quite an interesting fit. Got a bit of range control with the Tenement. But it's tanky. So I'm really close. My charges are almost done. Cap's getting a bit low. He's sort of tanking. We're slowly punching through that. But if he kills me, he'll be able to tank the second Algos. But we kill him. So GF, and thank you for the help there, CD. For our last bit of footage, I'm going to show you some of the negatives of this Algos. Although you're using drones and stuff, especially with the drone set I'm using, I believe I only have like 3 warriors and 5 hobs. I'm thinking about maybe switching hobgoblins to acolytes so I can kind of keep up with like kitey stuff like this. But kitey stuff's really bad for the Algos. You notice I play this horribly. MWD burns out. There was many times at the start if I just aligned out, I could have escaped. This is very bad piloting on my part, but it just goes to show like, don't rely heavily on your light drones like catch like kitey stuff, unless maybe you have like acolytes and stuff. You'll even see my warriors are having a bit of a hard time doing enough DPS to force these guys off, so just keep that in mind. And actually, here's another little example of just like you can't really apply well to kiters here. I try and MWD towards this guy, scram him before he pulls range, hoping that it's some form of brawly fit. And if he was just a long point, maybe I can catch him before he do so. I don't, you notice my drones have a real hard time keeping up with him. There's many times when he drops point, I could warp out. Thankfully, I do escape this one, but yeah, it's just to show like we are doing an occasional little hit here, but not enough to force him off or kill him before we do. Yeah, that's all the footage I've got for you guys today. I know, Blaze, you know, like every 2 days I'll get you one out, I get a lie. So just expect that I'll definitely get you guys a video every 3 days, mate. Alright, watch me end up doing it like every 4 days now or something, but no, I'll try and commit to that. Really want to try and get one out to like every day to 2 days, but god damn it, I'm so lazy. And my sleep pattern, getting back to work, you know, I was off for 2.5 weeks, just getting readjusted, mate, and it is a nightmare, by the way. It was 6 o'clock starts in the morning, or a disaster. But anyway, I do hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, the rest of your week. Hopefully get your video up Friday or Saturday. So yes, okay, do take care, guys.